Welcome to Hotlap Bahrain. Coming out of the final corner, we're going to be in third gear. It's highly important that you get to full throttle as quick as you can, and then turning on the battery once you get to sixth gear, and then we burn the battery down to 80 or 75%. You can use the inside line, however for this one we'll stay on the racing line. Coming into turn 1, you want to be aiming for the 100 meter board. Ideally though, we want to be braking 110 meters, so just before the board itself. We can use a little bit of the inside curb as well, as on this year's game it doesn't unsettle the car like last year. So as we brake, we go down to second gear to build up the speed coming out of gear. We keep it nice and tight, ensure we stay to full throttle as much as we can, cut the inside curb, and we start building up the speeds again, going down to 60% on the battery. Coming into turn 4, we're going to be using as much of the track as possible. We'll be braking at the 100 meter board. As we get there is where you want to be aiming to get on the brakes. Gearing down into third gear to get down the power again to build up the speed. You can go fourth gear, but it's very important to use as much of that exit as we can. Coming into the S section, what we want to do is we want to aim for this curb right in front of us. It's important that we can use as much of the track width as we can and get our car placed as much over this curb as humanly possible. The reason being is this is our turning point for the next corner. As we hit this curb is when we want to start turning the car in, and we will turn in quite sharply as well. We want to ensure that we keep it as flat as possible with the throttle usage, and also try stay in sixth gear. If you do use fifth gear, try not to go below 80% on the throttle, as this corner can really gain you a lot of time the closer you can keep it to 100% on the gas. Ensure that you can take as much of this curb and as much of this curb as well. Coming into this corner, we want to ensure that we get up to the outside curb as much as possible. There's no real reference for braking, however this dark blue patch you can kind of use as a braking reference, either as you just get to it or slightly just before it is when you can start braking. Going down into second gear again to build up the speed. Ensure you aim for the outside curb, get onto power as quick as possible, burning the battery down to 56%. Coming into this corner, again there's no real reference, however you want to ensure that you use as much of the outside curb as you can. This helps just rotate the car a little better around the corner. We'll be using second gear, coming out of gear. Ensure you run out wide to build up the speed. And then as you come on the straight, you can start gradually drifting towards the outside, using as much of the curb as possible. Coming into this corner, we want to be braking about just before the 50 meter board. You can use this a very saturated blue curb on the outside as a reference, because we ideally want to be aiming for 55 meters. Going down to fourth gear, you can use fifth. We use a little bit of battery to build up the speed. Ensure that you keep it very smooth on the steering wheel. Use a little bit of the inside curb. Coming into this corner, again there's no real reference, however we can use the DLH board to our right. Ideally as you come up to that board or as it's about to leave your screen is about where you want to start braking. Going down to fourth gear, using the inside curb and getting on throttle as soon as we can. Keep it straight, we don't need to go off the curb there as that bump isn't as aggressive as previous years. We burn the battery down to 20%. Coming into the final corner of the lap, we can brake at the 100 meter board, however ideally you want to start braking as the DLH board above your head leaves your screen, or in other words as your front tires pass the 100 meter board is ideally where you want to brake. Ensure that you use as much of the outside curb as you can. This just opens up the final corner for us so we can carry more speed to the line. If we take this corner in third gear, you can use fourth, but it's very important that you get to full throttle as quick as possible and dump your battery to the line, and that is a lap around Bahrain. And if you are interested in setups or strategies, please do use the link below.
And that's just 30 seconds left in the session. fantastic. You've got pole position.
Let's go. Nice one.